Okay, today we're covering Loki. I'm going to be doing two different builds. One is just going to be a quick show of the Perma Invisibility build, and then the next one is going to be more of a, useful for all of his moves. Both of them, I believe, are going to be great in every situation. Even though, in my opinion, obviously the second one, which is going to be, it's going to be called Radial Blind build, but ignore the fact it's actually to encompass all of his moves, making them all very good. It's just heavily, like always, based on range, with a bit more on duration and then efficiency. So, to get into it, the first one that I do have equipped is my Perma Invisibility build Loki, to give you a rundown of all the abilities or upgrades we have. Here it is, Energy Siphon playing the big role, and then efficiency and duration being your two main points. Anything like quick thinking and rush, as well as, hushed invisibility, can be mixed in and out with what you please, but this is just kind of how I have my setup right here. Reason being, if I'm going to be invisible 100% of the time, then might as well have all my weapons not have any noise. It's always nice to be able to run fast with Loki, and then since energy isn't going to be that big of an issue for you, is that you'll probably have full energy most of the time. That it's nice to, with not having any vitality or armor mods, that you can at least take a hit. Because if you accidentally take a straight bullet or something, at least you're more likely to survive, but that shouldn't be happening. Big thing you want to avoid when using the invisibility build is you don't want to cause any radiation procs, because if you're causing enemies to get radiated, they're going to be getting shot at, meaning they're probably going to hit you by accident. So like always, we're going to just quickly show it off. You're going to notice I have 153 energy. I'm going to cast this, kind of go on a little killing spree here. Just pay attention to my energy in the bottom right, and you'll notice I'll be back to, I think, like 153 before my timer for my actual skill runs out. And that's where this whole Perma Invisibility build comes into play. It's just that you never have to worry about energy, and you actually get more energy. You notice I had it 153 when I had about 7 seconds left, I think. And then I got a drop as well. So it's this, way that you just end up being topped up at 262, for a good portion of the time. Yeah, you can probably use prime flow, so you have a ton more energy to deal with if you accidentally do happen to take a straight bullet. But honestly, health is not that big of an issue, especially if you have a weapon that can give you healing in some way, whether it be with channeling or other methods that if you happen to take a hit, you can just get that little bit of health back. So that is a quick one on that. Now, the other builds that we're going to show you, or the other build, is going to be the called Radial Disarm, but it actually ends up encompassing all of his abilities. So range being a huge role in his skills, or most of them, I have that kind of as high as I can, with efficiency being second because you want to be able to cast those, and then duration being the kind of third in the mix. So if you guys are familiar with most of my builds, I usually just focus on two, but since kind of how Loki works and how his abilities work and how I use these builds, I had to mix them up just a bit. So corrosive projection, you can, put in something else if you like, but most of the time, if I'm not playing by myself, I'm playing with people with this build. Other than that, if I'm by myself, I'm almost exclusively in that. So I use corrosive projection to kind of help everybody out. Here's a quick rundown of the mods that I'm using. Natural Talent is really just for his Radial Disarm, to make that a bit quicker in niche situations, as well as Irradiating Disarm, making Radial Disarm a very, very great move. It's probably one of the moves I use in conjunction with two, and you'll see how I do those. And here is the rest of them. So what's really nice with this is that, if you do need to go invisible, you have a good 17-second invisibility. You need to throw out a decoy. You're going to have a pretty decent lengthy decoy, as well as being able to cast that decoy pretty far and then being able to switch with it. So in situations like where you just need to kind of get out of there, you can just pick a random target, get out of there. And then the Radial Disarm, which is going to have some serious range. If you notice, you know, when I'm invisible, as well as when I use Radiating Disarm, that it's very hard to see. It's because I use black energy. I think black energy looks really nice. It kind of gives you like this predator look compared to all the other energies that just kind of make it just kind of obnoxious to look at. So let's simulate this up. Go invisible. Throw out this. And then now they're going to be attacking each other. So what's really nice is that with the Irradiating Disarm, it's not that you're going to cast it and they're going to immediately charge right at you and start beating the crap out of you. It kind of gives you some breathing room so that they fight each other for a bit before they start going after you. And now with this, it's just kind of just a game of keep away at this point. You can always throw down a decoy, which they'll probably at this level one-shot it. So if I can... Yeah, they already killed it. So the whole point of this now is if you get up to a high spot, or if you happen to have a, say, a Saren who can actually jump and use her molt, they can't reach places. It might not work from where it is. They're probably going to pay more attention to me. But if you can actually get your decoy in a spot where they can't get it, but they can actually still see it. This is the thing with Loki, is that a lot of people think his decoy is actually not that great, and it's definitely kind of hard to do here in the Synaculum, whatever you want to call it. But if you can get the decoy in the right spot, you can actually confuse them, like I just kind of did with him. So he sees Loki, he sees the decoy. This one's kind of beelining it for me. But if they see it but can't get to it, they'll kind of do this weird thing where a couple of them are kind of doing. They don't kind of know where to go. This guy's just absolutely just... Maybe I just broke the poor guy. Yeah, see, I broke him away. So if you can get the decoy in the right spot, which is, again, hard to do here, you can confuse the AI, get them to go after the decoy, and since they have no weapons to worry about, they're basically just like shooting fish in a barrel. They're there for you to kind of do with what you please. And since just so how great Radial Disarm is, you can take out just about anything. Good old Corpus Tech here. Put this up. Jump in. I'm not even gonna go invisible right away. Since it has very good range, you don't have to be anywhere near them. You can still hide around cover and use it. I don't believe it's line of sight. As far as I remember, Radial Disarm is not line of sight, thankfully. So look at, they're gonna see that they're pretty far away. I'm gonna cast it, and they're still getting hit. So you're pretty much golden. The guys up here got hit. That the Radial Disarm is kind of like the bread and butter of this build, but it's great for all the other abilities as well. The invisibility is definitely more of I use it for this build in more of like, oh crap situations, like I'm pretty bunkered down, maybe I'm taking too much fire, but it's all about going invisible or throwing out a decoy, getting all the enemy's attention away from you, and then using Radial Disarm to just clear them all out, having them be absolutely pointless. And then again, really, hard to kind of do here, but let's see if I can actually get it just the right spot, is just kind of have it in the right way to where they can see the decoy, but they can't hit it. From the looks of it, I might have gotten that. Wait for my invisible to go off here. Yeah, see, they're all going for it. Let's see if I can stand out. Yeah, then they realize they can actually get to me. So you kind of want to have to put it in a way that they can just get to it, but can't hit it. Again, a great option is if you actually have a Saren with Molt. She can actually jump and cast it, so they'll actually all just kind of stay below it, not being able to do anything. And actually, before we even go, of course, the one thing that especially if you end up versing them, ends up being more of a invisibility build, and I think I'd rather use this, would be versing the Infested here. So what we'll do is we'll throw out a couple of these guys. Throw out the Eximuses, because you're probably going to have to deal with those as well. Then let's do the rest in Chargers. All right. So this is where it's going to be kind of niche, and I think invisibility works way better. You can still cast this. It will cause the confusion, so that you can still kind of go in, not have to worry. But you're going to have to worry about these guys that are going to stop them from getting affected, as well as the healers and things like that. Which this is why I prefer more of the invisibility over this. With a healing weapon, you don't have to worry about the toxin. If you notice, I'm just right out healing the toxin away. And if you have radiation that you have to worry about, then that's going to end up being more of, you know, them attacking the target you're attacking. But if I'm just invisible, they're not going to be attacking anybody else. They're just going to be kind of sitting there taking the hits. And that's where I think if you're taking care of the infested, that you're just kind of better off having a weapon with healing and no radiation procs that's going to cause them to be confused and things like that. And look at that. They just end up being nothing. So, like always, if you want to see a particular frame or a weapon covered, because again, other than that, I'm just kind of going in, you know, a set of frames that I feel like are pretty needed, or you know, people kind of want to see. But let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, leave comments, stuff like that that I need to kind of help me to know if I'm going in the right direction or not. And other than that, I know one of my previous comments wanted to see colors and stuff, or like what I do. I will cover my older frames that I did in like probably another video. I'll probably just kind of go through a couple of them. But other than that, from here on out, at the end of my videos as well, so you can kind of stop it here if you want, is I'm just gonna kind of show, you know, the color scheme and stuff that I use for the frame that I end up having to show. So other than that, guys, have a good one.